Hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we will be going over a league starter using Incinerate of Expanse, and I'm calling it the Dragon Knight. We will get into which ascendancy will be good for this build and ways we can use the new automation and call to arms skill gems. We'll be using Incinerate of Expanse as a marauder going into the Chieftain ascendancy. We do this because while we are channeling, we are standing still, which allows us to gain the benefits of Ramako's Sunlight, which means nearby monsters' fire resistances against damage over time from our ignites will be minus 20% while we are stationary, and no fire resistance against damage over time while we are stationary. We can also choose to take a cast when channeling support gem, which would work great with something like Volatile Dead or Detonate Dead, since both have the same skill tags as Incinerate of Expanse in regards to the spell, fire, and AoE, allowing us to further maximize our damage output and clear speed. Moving on to Automation Skill Gem. We can see we can trigger instant spells when off cooldown automatically. They can't have a reservation cost, or be used by totems, traps, mines, or modify skills of minions. So how do we use this in our build? Well, first, we have to get into the new Call to Arms skill gem. Call to Arms says, while this skill is active, supported war cries trigger automatically when off cooldown, and causes all war cries to share cooldowns. This is where Infernal Cry comes into play. We perform a war cry, taunting nearby enemies to attack us and cover them in ash, causing them to move slower and take increased fire damage and then explode once they die. With this skill, we also get Combustion, which we can use with Leap Slam to move around as needed and do extra damage. Now this is where we get into the automation part. We will require Immortal Call to consume our endurance charges. Why do we do that? So that we can use the Eternal Apple, which allows us to trigger a socketed Warcry with a 0.25 second cooldown on losing endurance charges, 50% increased Warcry recovery rate, and we lose all endurance charges on reaching maximum endurance charges, plus added spell damage and chaos res. This should be a budget-friendly build, and there are many ways to generate endurance charges to make this build work. The concept will be to round up packs and incinerate them, triggering your Detonate Dead or Volatile Dead, then Automation pops, triggering Immortal Call, which triggers Eternal Apple to trigger Infernal Cry. Later we can choose to replace the Apple and use Call to Arms in a new setup with a better shield, such as the Red Blade banner. We are also getting Tattoos back this league, which allows us to get more chance to explode enemies on kill, or further increase Warcry cooldown recovery. You can further enhance this build by adding more to the Ascendancy tree. By using something like Hinakora's Death Fury, you get more chance to explode enemies when you kill them. You can also increase your resistances by going with Pasalio's Cleansing Water, and then working your way up into Valako's Storm's Embrace. You could also go with Nagamu's Flames Advance. So in closing, there are a lot of ways to play this build and adapt it as you see fit. More damage output, or something tankier, depending on your needs and playstyle. Let me know what you guys come up with for this league, or any other interesting builds you have in mind. Hope to see you guys in the live streams on Twitch or here. See you in the next one.